Before we start, Mitchell and I had a bet prior to this about who would win the election, and Mitchell has won. He wanted to bet for only a little bit of money, but I only bet for huge amounts of money. So here is Mitchell's dollar. Mitchell, you have defeated me. You are my mage. I bow to your superior predictive abilities.
I just want to say for the record that I did not want Donald Trump to win. Okay, I'll talk about why I predicted he would win if I get to do my presentation at the end of the day. But this dollar will be contributed to a pot of money that I won from other people that will be donated to charities that will fight Donald Trump. If the Electoral College actually decides not to vote for Trump, actually does vote for Hillary Clinton, I will give Spiro $2 at a future New York City Skeptics event.
And we will be discussing that, interestingly, quickly. So, Zen in the Art of Dental Maintenance. For the last 3 years, I've been talking about stuff I really don't know anything about, so I thought I would talk about something I actually know something about now. No. I changed my mind. My country is bleeding.
Well, we don't welcome bait and switches here.
It has been rent asunder by a demagogue who wants to heighten our differences rather than our shared humanity. And I can't stay silent any longer, and I want to encourage us, along the lines of what Tony has said and others have said, to start organizing and be effective antagonists. Thank you. I didn't know how that would go over, so thanks for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk about who we are first. And this is Raphael's School of Athens, which is in the Vatican. And it depicts a group of Athenian philosophers and scientists and mathematicians who are all gathered together in one place, and they're all discussing. They're all talking about stuff. They're debating. They're arguing. They're bringing different ideas. They're learning from each other. This is Plato, and he's pointing up to the sky. Aristotle's got his hand down, pointing to the earth. They're the two mains. My favorite character is Socrates, who's a bit of a rascal, who is always walking around Athens, irritating people by questioning their assumptions and learning. And he's busy, instead of just preaching, he's sort of talking to people and getting involved in a conversation. And, you know, that's what I think about this, what we're doing right now. This is like the School of Athens updated to today. We're talking about a variety of issues. We're discussing, we're learning from each other. We're participating in intellectual excitement, all right? This is what we should be doing. And this is our heritage. When we, you know, a lot of people talk about, Robin told me that for instance, in the Jewish tradition, they don't eat pork, and you know, and in many religious traditions, they have certain things that don't really make sense by today's standards. Well, they're not doing it because they think it's a sin. They're doing it because it connects them to an earlier time, okay? Connects them mentally to people thousands of years ago in a foreign land. Athens, however, killed Socrates. Democracy killed Socrates. The Renaissance had the Inquisition. Our founders, who are sons of the Enlightenment, enabled slavery. We're at a crisis point now, and we have to take action. I don't know how we can heal our wounds, but I do know that we must fight for what we think is right. And hopefully our wounds won't heal soon, but later generations may profit from our efforts. Are you discussing or debating with people? when you discuss? Are you like the men in the School of Athens? Or are you just yelling and screaming? Has anyone ever had a really deep, angry argument with someone, and right in the middle of it, the other guy says, "You're right. I never realized that. I'm changing my mind because of you." It's just not going to happen, all right? So when think about that. Discuss, don't debate. There's no, if you come up to someone who thinks that abortion is murder, there is nothing you're going to say to them that is going to change their minds, nor is there anything that they're going to say to you to change yours, And we all, in case you think I'm just talking about conservatives, like they're dumb and we're smart, I've been on the Nexus board, the Skeptics board rather, for about 4 years or so, and I've had a lot of arguments with a lot of other people on the board. We have never changed our minds, any of us, never, myself included, not 1 inch, all right? It's just not going to happen. The best we can do is lay out our arguments and, hope for the best. So how do we live in a 48-52 country? All right? Well, as far as I'm concerned, direct argument and antagonistic behavior don't work very often. Bunga Bunga Berlusconi was beaten. He won many elections, but he was also beaten by opponents who relied on humdrum politics, who did not attack his character, who focused on the actual issues at hand and promoted them. He was defeated twice, and that's how that was done. When we argue with people about Donald Trump's misogyny, his anti-science stance, his racism, his this, his that, they know that. It's not a secret. They know he's a scumbag. He's their scumbag. He's giving voice to something inside of them. All right. We're not going to get anywhere with that. So in the short term, I feel it's better to communicate with like-minded people than to waste a lot of time arguing with people that are never going to change their mind. And I am as guilty as the next guy of this. I've spent hours on Facebook just arguing with people and getting furious, and they are going to sleep and waking up in the middle of the night, and the whole thing. I mean, anything stupid that people laugh about on Facebook, that's what I've done. Actually, Bill Chapman inspired part of this lecture because he said, when liberals get angry, they scream and protest and yell down the street. When conservatives get angry, they meet in living rooms and make plans and plan long term. And that's what I want us to do. All right? I think that's what we should do. We need to organize. We need to create a network of friends and like-minded people. This is one such network right here. We can also associate with established groups. All right? Now, the ACLU, any number of 1 million different groups, whatever's your passion, okay? Contribute to your favorite charities. I've already donated to one, change.org, which I'll mention in a moment, and a variety of other groups. Support the press. All right, the press is our strongest ally right now. Okay, it's the first thing a tyrant wants to dismantle when he gets in power, and Trump has already said he wants to curtail freedoms of the press, and he is actually getting rid of the press room in the White House right now. This is real. It's happening. He does not want to associate with the press. All right. So you can subscribe to them. All right. Give them money. I just donated $20 to the Guardian, because we need the help. And there are many other things. I know that in this group, there's probably people that have a lot better ideas than mine, and I look forward to hearing from you. I'm involved in a variety of online sort of networks of this sort. I'm part of Pantsuit Nation. There's a couple of other ones that are on Facebook. And through Pantsuit Nation, I got this thing. There's been an attempt to stop the recount in Michigan, and a friend asked to share this. Just cut and paste this and send it. Okay? So I was between patients. I saw this. Took me half a minute, I did it, and it was done, and I was on to my next patient. So it's something you can do very quickly. So when you're organized like this, we can take quick, hopefully effective action. In this particular instance, it was a little too late, and the recount has not been blocked. That was already decided by that time. But there's an example of what we can do very, very quickly if we're already organized into networks. Be like the NRA. The NRA is not the most well-funded group in the country. It's not the most populous group in the country. Yet, they have been able to stall any legislation, even when it had over 90% approval in the general population. How did they do it? They have these networks all set up. One phone call from somebody or one notification from someone spurs hundreds of phone calls to every representative. Robin pointed out to me that one phone call is worth 100 emails. All right? So emails are just really easy, and it's not a bad thing to do. By all means, it's better than nothing. But one phone call is worth 100. Call your representative. Even the state guys. It's important that we get the state representatives involved as well. All right? Here in New York, you know, it's not, there's not a lot of debate. We're a very democratic city and state. Nevertheless, we can call our representatives to support them, to let them know, I'm on board with you on this, know that I got your back. Okay? Robin also says that one typed paper with a letter with a stamp on it is worth even 100 phone calls. So I don't know exactly why that is, Robin, but nevertheless, I'll put it out there. Great, let's do that. Okay, whatever we got to do. Have your representative's contact info handy for quick access. All right, just have a little thing on your computer or wherever you are, whatever, with all your people's information. For instance, the White House, right there. Okay, I know they're going to be listening to me a lot, but nevertheless, here's a couple of locals, Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand. Remember, Nancy Pelosi is your representative. She is the leader of the minority. She represents you, no matter where you are. Mitch McConnell represents you. It is okay to contact these people and say, as my representative, this is what I want. Okay? So broaden this out. And it took me just in minutes to put this together. I just didn't have room on, I didn't want to take up time in slides to put other people's information on it, but really, just get this together. It'll only take a few minutes. What are some goals that I advocate? Well, there's immediate support the recount. Look, there's a chance. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. All right? We could very well still win this thing. All right? Convince Hamilton electors in the Electoral College to change their votes. All right? I have a major problem with the Electoral College. Okay? In fact, the Electoral College was instituted because the founders echoed Plato. Plato was not an advocate of democracy because he saw it kill his mentor, Socrates. The electors saw that and didn't want to just give unlimited power to the populace. Particularly at that time, the populace was very often completely uneducated, illiterate. And the founders were all extremely well educated for men of their times. They knew Latin, ancient Greek, and they knew their history, all right? So they thought of the Electoral College as a means of protecting ourselves against a demagogue. We should use it. Try to support efforts to get electoral college electors to change their votes. It can happen. It's constitutional. It is ethical. They'll be held to pay, but...
I'll lose the bet that I just won, but I'm okay with that.
Well, remember, that's a lot of money, Mitch, so... We can fight cabinet and staff appointments. Steve Bannon et al. Can't fight Steve Bannon?
Not a cabinet appointment.
I know, but we can, if popular opinion goes against him. Stop arguing with me, Benny. He's
He's appointed. He's appointed. He's not,
There's short-term, assuming we lose, and we probably will that, go to Washington. There's a march on Washington January 21st. I'm going, and yeah, there are buses that are organized to bring people down in the morning and come back in the evening. So there's all sorts of different ways to get down there. Support the National Popular Vote Bill. There is something called the National Popular Vote Bill that has, where 11 states have already signed on to dedicate all of their electoral college votes to whoever wins the general election, regardless of who won that particular state.
they'll find out that 60% of the electoral votes we need to pass that.
Yeah.
We're already 60% of the way.
We only need 270. And we have 165. And a lot of those states are Republican states. This is not a Democratic-Republican issue, okay? It is maybe right now, but long-term, this is not a partisan issue, okay? This is about giving one person one voice. I only have a few minutes, and by all means, I want to get to your question. So support that. We can do that, and this is nationalpopularvote.com. And it won't require a constitutional amendment. Midterm, don't forget the 2018 midterm elections. That's how we got hosed in 2010, okay? Because everybody thought things were hunky-dory and they stayed home. The Republicans came out and beat us to the punch. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine works for a news organization, told me, you know, if it's raining, if it's a crappy day, Democrats stay home. Republicans don't care. It could be a hurricane. They are getting out there and they are voting. All right? Be like the Republicans. Okay? By the way, I'm a lifelong Republican. Pardon? Yeah. Okay, try to get the legislators to reduce gerrymandering. All right, the Democrats have won the national vote for local representatives for a number of years, and still the Republicans control both houses. Long term, well, let's get a farm team of young people to go into politics. My godson is in his 30s. He's a lawyer. He's in North Carolina, a swing state, and I'm encouraging him to get involved. He can make a difference. Let's get our future. I want us to think immediate, short-term, midterm, but I want to have a long-term plan. Mitch McConnell had a long-term plan. 8 years ago, he said he would do anything possible to make Obama a one-term president. He couldn't do that, but it's because of that plan that Trump won this election. So it bore fruit. Let's do something similar. We don't have to destroy the country to do it. And I just put this in a few minutes ago, promote skepticism, what we've been talking about. This group here, long term, let's promote critical thinking.
I just want to get it, that's not a right-wing or left-wing issue.
No.
But despair with people who openly have contempt for what they deride as facts, that's what's boggling my mind. who say facts don't matter.
You can't. You
Facts
can't.
are whatever we say they are.
You can't, and that's what I'm saying. Organize, be together with like-minded people, and simply make these others less of a force. That's all we can do. We can never change their minds. We have enough trouble changing our own minds. Okay. This is so great, but I only have 1 minute left. I'm going to give Gimli the last word. So in case you think it's all hopeless and we can't win and there's nothing else to be done. Oh yeah, get that. Sorry. Yeah, get that. Okay. This is what Gimli would say. Let's do this.
Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions. And not even Benny. Okay, well, you know what? Okay, we'll give you like 2 seconds to give your
Okay. Probably as the only non-Democrat here, probably am the only.
I am a lifelong Republican, so don't tell me that.
Lifelong libertarian here. I find President Trump horrifying, but I do disagree with a number of things you said. According to, this is Elizabeth Warren and Michael Moore, among others, people voted for Trump not because of what he said, but despite of what he said. So I disagree with you. He was not there, whatever, horrifying, whatever he was. He gave voice to the disaffected in this country that Democrats did not give a voice. Okay, number two. Everything you said, she's not my representative. I'm a libertarian. Nancy Pelosi stands against a lot of what I believe in. Okay, neither is Trump or the Republicans, by the way. So I have no reason to support her.
It's not a question of supporting her. What I'm saying is these people are contractually. Wait.
Okay,
These people are our representatives. In other words, I'm not saying she represents my opinion or Mitch McConnell. What I'm saying is that these people are our representatives. They must listen to us, at least listen to us. We should use that power. Mitchell, let him talk. Just let him finish.
I really want to say one quick thing. All of these things about not accepting the results of the election are very dangerous. First of all, don't forget that Democrats were all about, oh, you need to pledge that you will accept the results. And now Democrats are doing the same thing. I come from a country where we had a military dictatorship in Chile. I don't want to go there. I want us to accept the election, deal with it for the next 4 years, and come up with a plan to unelect him in 4 years from now. Fighting this election is very dangerous. You said there would be hell to pay. I don't want to deal with that hell.